Continuing now with Donald Trump, who is in Dallas this evening. Okay, on the debate, think back. What's the most important thing you said in that debate?
Well, I think a lot of things, but I would say the most important thing I showed in the debate, and as you saw, virtually everybody other than, some crooked polls said that we won the debate easily, was that Hillary Clinton, after being there for 30 years, has done practically nothing except talk. She won't do anything.
All right, so that was the most important.
She won't do anything.
Statement
to me, that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
Because she talks about health care, child care. She talks about everything, but she never does anything. You look at the bills she passed, a few naming projects. She named a couple of buildings or a highway or something. She did practically nothing. Hillary Clinton has been there, and she criticizes, and she says what she's going to do, but she never does anything.
But she got some stuff, to be fair, after 9/11. She did a fairly good job representing New York and getting things in here that the families needed and the victims needed. But I want to go to
Well,
her.
she's not getting credit for much, I can tell you that. People think she was a lousy senator. She came in on the basis that she was going to fix upstate New York and create 200,000 jobs. And guess what happened? Everybody left.
Okay. Now, Hillary Clinton, just putting aside the compliments that she gave your children and, by extension, you, did she say anything in that debate? And, try to be fair here. That impressed you? Anything? Did she have any point of view that was worthy?
Well, I'm sure she said a couple of things, Bill. You're asking me about the debate. I don't think I was extremely impressed with her performance. One thing I will say, right after the debate, they left and they said, oh, Donald was in her space. I never walked near her. I was at my lectern, and all of a sudden she walks right over to me, stands right in front of me, and the next day I read that I was in her space. I watched Lazio lose a debate because he went over to her and stood over her and handed her years ago, I guess, when they were running for Senate. Rick Lazio, nice guy. But he stood over, and he took a lot of heat for that. So I smart guy.
I thought it was a bogus issue. I said it last night. I didn't say.
No, wait a minute, Bill.
No, I said there wasn't any.
She came into my territory. No, she came into my territory. I was standing at my lectern.
Right.
And all of a sudden, from nowhere, she walks right in front of me. So I never walked near her. She stands right in front of me. The next day, I was in her space. I was standing at my chair, at my lectern. So this is typical Hillary Clinton. She's a phony person.
All right, but it was the press that did it, and it was ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous.
No, it was the Hillary Clinton camp that spun the press, and the press is an extension of Hillary Clinton. I mean, it's part of the rigged system. The press is a total extension of. Look, if Hillary Clinton didn't have the press, she'd be right now. She wouldn't be running. She would have lost immediately. But if she didn't have the press on her side, and it's a total fixed job. If she didn't have it, she'd be at 10% right now. Nobody wants her.
When you see how you're being treated, not only by the national press, but say Saturday Night Live, you got Alec Baldwin now doing you, Kate McKinnon doing Mrs. Clinton. Do you feel that it's coordinated? There's no doubt that most of the press, and I said this from the very beginning, you'll remember, I told you that the day you announced that you were going to get hammered personally, not just because of your policies, just because they don't like you, they don't think you're worthy for this job, all of that.
They don't like what I stand for.
Well, that's too, but it's more you.
They don't like what worthy. I mean, look, I'll compare my IQ with anybody, okay? So they don't like.
But if you compare you to Romney,
they don't want borders.
They didn't like Romney.
Excuse me.
But it wasn't as personal as it against you. It's personal against you.
Well, I'm very proud to say they say this is the all-time pylon in history in terms of.
So my question is it coordinated? Do you believe it's coordinated?
Hey, Bill. Yeah, I do think so. Before I ran, I used to get great press. In fact, my wife said the other day, she said, you used to never get a bad story. Well, I got some, but I got very few. Now I have I can be on the front page of the New York Times in 3 different stories, and every one of them is a hit job. And you understand that. No, it's a very unfair press. But I knew it would be bad. I didn't know it would be this bad. I used to talk. I said, boy, am I going to get hit? Because I stand for strong borders. We have to strengthen up our country. We're not going to have a country if we don't have borders. And people are pouring across. By the way, ICE and the Border Patrol guards, Border Patrol agents, just endorsed me. 16,500 agents plus all of ICE.
But you missed an opportunity.
No, ICE was last week, Bill, just so you understand.
You missed an opportunity because in the WikiLeaks exposition, apparently Hillary Clinton said to a bunch of Brazilian bankers that she wants open borders. I thought you were going to hammer that all day long in the debate. You didn't.
The problem is, Bill, I would hammer it, but the press doesn't pick it up. The press is hardly even talking about WikiLeaks. You know that. WikiLeaks is amazing, the stuff that's coming out. It shows she's a real liar. She said, well, you have to say to the public and you have to say to your donors different things, okay? The press doesn't even pick this stuff up. You look at, where have you seen it? They hardly write stories about it.
It got overshadowed by the Access Hollywood stuff. I mean,
no,
on Friday night.
It wasn't overshadowed.
Well, let me just tell you. On Friday night. Just let me tell you. On Friday night, I'm sitting here doing live show. I got WikiLeaks all day long on my show. And then all of a sudden, an hour before airtime, this Access Hollywood thing explodes. So everybody's running around like this, you know, bum, and the story got buried. And so that's what happened on that one.
Bill, they should be speaking about what's going on in WikiLeaks. Just today, just before I put this on and stood before your cameras, they have incredible stuff coming out even today. In fact, as soon as I'm finished, I'm going to read it, but it was incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's about
you pick it up. Fox picks it up, but nobody else is picking it up.
Well, we report it.
CNN, which is totally crooked, you know, the Clinton News Network. CNN, first of all, their ratings are terrible. I don't know if you've seen their ratings.
They're doing better because they're on Hillary's side and all of that. But you're right. I'm not going to dispute the fact that
they're doing badly in the ratings.
80% of the press doesn't want you to win. That's a lot, 80%. But you always have a forum here, and I think Fox News is giving you a fair shake. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say, yeah, I would say Fox has been pretty good. Your guys in the morning have been fantastic. You've been fair. I wouldn't say you're the greatest, but you've been fair. I think Fox has been over. No, you have some great people. Sean Hannity is a great person. You have some great people, and you have some people that, frankly, don't treat me fairly.
All right.
But you've been fine. I'm not going to jump up and down about your treatment.
I appreciate you coming on because, look, you gain currency coming in here because I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm asking you the hardest questions I can ask you, and you sit there and you answer them. And guess who doesn't answer them?
I do.
Guess who doesn't answer them?
Let me guess. Is it crooked Hillary?
I would never be disrespectful and call her that. But she should.
Yeah, well, that's what she is.
She should.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate your time, Donald. Thank you very much. Have a good
rally
this evening.
Thank you.